Hello, Calvin Stovall here with Iconic Presentations, coming to you with a new message for our monthly Iconic Caring and Harmony video series. Okay, so last month we covered the topic of attitude. Remember, we talked about attitude, and I hope you were able to apply some of the simple principles that we covered last month. So this month, my hotter than July topic is culture. Yes, you heard me right. I said culture. Now, to make sure that we're all on the same page before we get started in this topic, I want to give you a simple definition of what culture is. In its simplest form, culture is, let's say, shared values, attitudes, shared behaviors, or shared standards that make up a work environment. That's a pretty simple definition for company culture. Now, an organization's culture, it can be heavily influenced by an organization's founder, the CEO, executives within, the top level executives, or even, managerial staff can even sometimes influence culture, just by the simple, roles that they all have, decision-making, as well as driving the strategic direction of the organization. But one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands that I'm talking to today is that employees can significantly influence the culture within an organization. I always tell people during my keynotes when we're talking about culture, I always say that, the culture that you cultivate inside of an organization is ultimately going to show up on the outside when your employees are dealing with customers. Now, let me give you an example. You can feel a particular culture when you're dealing with an employee from, say, a McDonald's, right, versus a Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? You could tell there's a different culture when you take a Southwest Airlines flight versus interacting with an employee from a United Airlines, right? So you could tell every organization has a different culture, and you can tell it kind of comes out when you're dealing with a customer and vice versa. So management guru Peter Drucker, he has a quote that I love. He says that culture eats strategy for breakfast. I love that. And you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? Let me tell you what that means. Actually, it means that a company can come up with the best strategic plan ever created, but it won't go anywhere unless the people within that organization share and believe in that company's culture, right? And that's the thing, because the employees are the ones that are going to implement the plan anyway. So, because they're the ones that make the difference. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure everybody rallies around their culture and believes in it. But here's the funny thing about culture. Culture is going to happen whether you work on it or not. So you probably say, Calvin, what are you trying to say to us? This is what I'm trying to say to you. All of us have to work on making sure our mission health culture stays intact. And what do I mean by that? Building a caring and harmony culture like we have here at Mission Health, it's not easy. But let me tell you the more challenging part, my friends. That is cultivating and maintaining that culture over a long period of time. See, that's where a lot of organizations fail. So we want to make sure when a new employee joins Mission Health, they can feel that caring and harmony culture from the first day that they start, all the way throughout their career, right? We want to make sure that our patients feel it. We want to make sure that our residents feel it. And how does this happen? Right, you guessed it right. It happens with all of us, right? Everybody in the organization, within the communities, at the corporate office, we all have to make sure that we're walking and talking and living and breathing our culture every single day, because that caring and harmony culture is the core essence of who we are as a company. Makes sense? Author and inspirational speaker Simon Sinek, he says that customers will never love a company unless its employees love it first. Love that. So we want to make sure that Mission Health stays a space where people feel appreciated, where people feel like their differences, are valued, where people have a sense of belonging, right? Where people feel comfortable sharing their opinions, their values, and their point of views, or anything like that, and feel great about it. We want to make sure that people are successful and they can thrive within this company, right? And feel safe in, which is also very, very important. So what do we have to do? We just have to make sure when we're interacting with each other, that culture is alive. We want to make sure when we're interacting with our patient and residents, that culture is alive. Let me tell you something before I get out of here. I think this is probably one of the most important points I want to make for you. Your competitors, they can copy a lot of things. They can copy the furniture that you use in your communities. They can copy your procedures. They can copy your software. They can copy the same linen sets that you use. But there's one thing that none of your competitors could ever duplicate. And you know what that is? The winning, caring, and harmony culture that we have in Mission Health. You can't ever forget that. And we have to do everything in our power to make sure we protect it. So I want to say thank you for listening to me for this month's message. Keep caring in harmony and for each other. And I'll see you in August, which is my birthday month, by the way. Take care of yourself. Talk to you next month. Bye-bye.